Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome to an absolutely glorious Monday morning. It's bright, it's sunny, it's a little nippy, but it's warming up, and it's a beautiful, beautiful late spring day. It makes a change from the amount of rain we had last week. Oh my days, that rain was horrific. But it's done the plants a world of good. You wait there, good girl. It's alright. Good girl. There is a Jenny Wren singing somewhere. I did see her, but I think she's moved. Isn't that a glorious sound? It's so pretty. Such a little bird can make a big noise like that. Anyway, today I thought we would have a chat about gatekeeping and gatekeepers. This came about because of a live I was watching one lunchtime at work on TikTok, a witchy live, which I'll go into in a bit. But I looked up the definition of gatekeeping because I'd heard it being bandied about a few times. I even had to ask my daughter what gatekeeping was, and she had to explain to me. So, yeah, there's no hope, is there? Okay, so the definitions are: a gatekeeper or a gatekeeping. In times of old, when men were bold and ladies had lovely dresses, people were employed to stand by the gates of castles and fortresses in order to A, keep people out, keep the enemy out, and B, to ask people why they needed to enter the castle. Modern day gatekeeping, i.e. for social media platforms, is someone or a group who decides whether or not that person or that group are allowed in based on their looks, their financial status, whatever. So this came about because one lunchtime last week while I was at work, I was watching a witchy TikTok live, and there's a youngish lass, late 20s I would say, middle to late 20s, and she was showing off everybody her altar, her witchy altar. And yes, it was a very lovely witchy altar. It was very nice and very well laid out, and a lot of thought had gone into it. And she was telling people, you know, oh, I bought this, as we all do, oh, I bought this from so-and-so and it cost me this amount of money. And I bought this from so-and-so and it cost me that amount of money. And as I'm watching it, I had this feeling that, you know, it was taking a bit of a spiteful turn, shall we say. It felt like she were bragging. So I thought, well, carry on, just leave it. It'll be fine, don't worry. You know, and she's telling everybody where she bought these things and how much they cost, and these things weren't cheap. These things were very, very expensive. Things that if I wanted to buy, I would have to save up for. Anyway, so I'm trying to watch it and read the comments at the same time, and somebody posted a comment and said that she was new to the witch tarot pagan community scene. She was just starting to build altars and buy things, and she was like, well, with the way things are at the moment, you know, lots of people short of money, she says, I can't justify spending that amount of money on items that are, in all intents and purpose, going to sit there and gather dust. Which, she's not wrong, she's true, because half the stuff I've got sits there and gathers dust unless I use it. And everybody was like in agreement. Yes, everybody in the chat was in agreement. Anyway, this person that was doing the live absolutely tore shreds off this poor woman. oh, well, if you can't afford to buy these things, maybe this isn't the place for you. You can't call yourself a witch if you can't afford to buy these things. You can't cast spells if you can't afford to buy the correct ingredients. And this woman, you know, it sort of went a bit quiet for about 30 seconds on the old board. And this lady was saying, well, I only asked. She says, you know, because things are so expensive. She says, and I was thinking of like going into charity shops and things and buying seconds, which I don't have a problem with because that's something I do. You know, if I'm looking for something, I'll go in the charity shops first, or I'll go to a spring fair or something like that and see if I can find it. No, it's not a problem. So what? You know, our ancestors did it way before we ever had shops and things. They used to make stuff. You know, they made things with whatever they found. And sometimes I think that's a nicer way of doing things. You know, if you can make something to place on your altar, or to use as a spell or an enchantment, then yeah, fine. To me, that makes it all the better. But this woman decided that she didn't like what this person had asked. And she was like, well, she says, we don't make things here. She says, that's really poor. She says, we don't buy second-hand, that's really poor. She says, you shouldn't be here. You clearly are far too poor to be buying stuff like this. Anyway, cut a long story short, people then jumped to the defence of this lady that was asking the question, you know. Well, she's not wrong, she's right, there's nothing wrong with it. And it just all kicked off, didn't it? It was just a massive row. And I thought, oh, should I put my 2 pennies worth in? And then I thought, no, walk away, because you're only going to get yourself riled up. You'll have fingers of fury on that keyboard, and that'll be it. You'll be in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Morning. So, while I went off to go and do my jobs, I was thinking about it all afternoon, and I thought, who the hell are you to stand there and dictate to people what they can and cannot buy, whether they can be a witch or not, regardless of their financial status? And I thought, you must lead a very, very sad life. You've either got a very, very sad life and got no friends, so now you're just going to boss everybody out about on the internet behind your keyboard, or you live a very entitled life, think you're a bleeding content influencer, and think it's okay to boss people about. If she'd have done that in a real life scenario, she'd have had the shit ripped out of her. She would have done. But because it's done on the internet and done behind a computer, there's nobody there to actually physically pull her up about it. Yes, you can report it to admin or whoever it is that runs the page, or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whoever, but it's going to take a long, long time for them to either ban them or put them in, you know, platform prison. And to be honest with you, for me, there's no need for this kind of gatekeeping. In any community, not just ours, any community, there is no need for it. When I first joined, like everybody else, I was quiet and I lurked in the chats and I never said anything. I might have said hello, but that were it. I would never have dreamed of asking anybody anything. because I was frightened of people ridiculing me. But what I have learned is that no, we are probably a nice community. We are a nice community. You know, we come in, we help people out if they need it, we share our knowledge, we greet people. You know, we give away so much. You know, we either do swapsies or, oh, I've read this book, I don't like it, do you want to read it? And we'll give stuff away to people. There is no need for that kind of, or that level of bullying or aggressiveness in any community. I don't care what community you're from. There's no need. There's no need to sit there and show off in a, how can I put it, you know, oh look at me, I've got money kind of way, the stuff that you've bought. Yeah, I don't mind, we all show our things off and we all say, oh, I bought it from so and so, I bought it from Home Bargains, it cost me £3, but we don't show off stuff in such a way that it makes the rest of us feel inferior or jealous. That we don't, there is no need for anybody to berate or belittle somebody because they wish to follow a path or a hobby but find it a bit of a struggle because, you know, money's a bit tight, we're all going through it. Not everybody's got money. And to sit there and tell them, oh, well, we don't have poor witches in this community, you're not welcome. Well, I'm sorry, but if that's the way you feel, we'll take this poor lady under our wing and we'll look after her. So, what I'm trying to say is, lovelies, just be kind, just be welcoming and just be kind. And if a little bit further down the line, you find that the person you've welcomed into your community is rude, abusive and chucks a load of spam on your group or your page or whatever, get rid of them. Just delete them, block them, tell them they can't play no more. But just be kind to people who, you know, let's be lovely and kind to people that walk in. We all are. I've never had a bad experience with anybody's group that I've joined or YouTube channel that I've watched. I've never ever had a bad experience. Like I've never had a bad experience on my channel. Nobody's ever been rude or mean or horrible. But you do get the odd one, and to be honest with you, there's no need for that kind of gatekeeping at all. You're just a sad little bugger who thinks that they can bully people about for whatever reason. I do not know and I do not care. But your energy's all wrong, love. And I, for one, will not be joining your group. So, lovelies, on this absolutely glorious, I say, Monday morning, I'm going to go home for a quick cup of tea and then I'm off to work. So, I hope you all have a very, very blessed Monday. Please look after yourselves. And if you're in need of help, please reach out. There's always somebody there that will help you. Be kind to one another, lovelies. You know it's important. And as always, lost my train of thought then. And as always, from me and Miss Woo, we're sending you much love and many, many blessings.